jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world combat sports. Talking way too much, world combat sports. Talking way too much, world combat sports.
Yo, you already know it's Friday. Yes, the weekend is here. First of all, man, let me get to it. First in the building, Big Blunts and Boxing. What's good with it? The GOAT on deck. Let's get it. Salute to you, Blunts. Appreciate all you do, man. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, dropping those gems behind the scene. No doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dion Washington in the building. I appreciate you, brother, for dropping those gems also, man. Be dropping me content when I'm on the road, man. Can't get to the freaking time to sit down. Shout out to Dion Washington, man. A real one, solid. You know what I'm saying? Been around for a long time, man. You know what I'm saying? Always stood on his code about this fight, and he ain't wavered. He's never wavered. You know what I'm saying? He said, hit him up when the first punch is thrown. You know what I'm saying? Stay on code. Hope you coming back on later to discuss the action-packed Saturday ahead. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dion, salute. It's better to do that anyway, rather than in the morning for me. It's better to do it in the evening, in the afternoon or whatever. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to talk about, the matchroom at Top Rank, with Shakur Stevenson, his fight with a heavy card, with a heavy card. Once again, you have a tremendous lineup with Keyshawn Davis, Jerry Anderson, Shoo Carrington. I mean, hey, it's a heavy card over there. Shout out to Top Rank Promotion. Much love for them, man. Hit that like button with a nasty left hook on the way. Yes, sir. Calling all ERROLSEXUALs. Waiting on my care package. Schizophrenic complications still hindering my ability to think rationally. Oh, shit. Hey, man, at least you identify the possibility, you know what I'm saying, of a persuasion that's going on with you. There's a mental persuasion. There's an influence that's going on, you know what I'm saying, medically. But I wasn't directing that at you, so don't sit up here and try to hold me to it. I wasn't directing that at you. So let's talk about the obvious. I pretty much touched on this yesterday. The reason why I wanted to is clearly you have individuals that are choosing to remain silent. They are invoking their YTC, Miranda rights. Now, this isn't remaining silent for the right reasons. It's remaining silent for all the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? They have invoked their right to remain silent in this case. And totally understanding WCS, I was going to come to the forefront and speak on this because it's definitely a solid point for me to make in comparison to 2022 and 2023. All right. You know it. I know it. And everybody else is listening know it. They can feel some type of way about it. It's okay, man. You know what I'm saying? I have every time I make a live stream about aerosexuals, I get people, coming to me as if I mention their name, period. That means you feeling some type of guilt about being an aerosexual, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit up here and go back and forth, and it's not one headstone that I've collected that has to do with a debate of aerosexuals. Not one. It's not one. I got the bum boxing community in there and the rest of them suckers. You know what I'm saying? Nothing on anything else dealing with aerosexuals. Now, from 2022, you all know, and I know that the energy has changed dramatically. They have to be held accountable for the energy that they refuse to put forth in 2023. They refuse to bring forth this energy that they had in 2022. When I was in that year along with them, I was trying to explain to the people that what you was hearing was rhetoric, agitprop, falsicities, lies. I sat there and told them that. But look, when you try to explain to the blind, they're not going to see what you're talking about until it affects them unless they feel it. And see, they end up feeling it later on that year when the fight didn't happen. But this isn't about going through all the details of negotiation and why I fell out. No, this is sticking true to the game of those individuals who was over there, the aerosexuals, talking the same song with the same instruments as if they know everything that was going on in those negotiations. Now, granted, they say the sources, but I could say, okay, I heard y'all say the sources, and I hear people say they are the source and all this other stuff, right? But what happened when nothing that you was talking about came to fruition? It never materialized. You say you had sources yesterday and y'all had all the details. I'm talking about you individuals who were speaking as if you was embedded in the negotiations, and all we heard was numbers, numbers, numbers. I just been sitting back, right? I wasn't scratching my head though. I was just chilling. And then I'm listening and I'm looking and I'm saying to myself, why don't I have that same mathematical class that I was looking for, that same business class that I was looking for? I'm looking for all these experts that was on here in 2022 talking numbers all the time. They want to talk about what a man don't rate, a man don't deserve, and they ain't held a mitt in their life. They haven't had held a mitt one day in their life, right? But I'm saying to myself, right, it's easy for us to transition from year to year. It's transparently. It's not like we have to go through a time warp, a time machine, or a gateway into another universe. No, we went from 22 to 23. All I wanted to know is the answers to my question as to where are the sources that was going on in 22 that gave you all the details, line for line, all the fine details that y'all went up here and made all these lies about. And you was up here trying to prove to the people that what you were saying was with honesty and integrity. What you were saying was true. All y'all was talking about the split. Y'all was talking about the money. Y'all was talking about who don't deserve this. I still have individuals on here talking that how Crawford moves and how he don't move. I still hear people on here just talking about old news. My point is, I'm asking you this question again. If your sources was able to provide y'all with this plethora of information in 22, did they retire? Did they retire? Did your sources retire in December after Crawford finished off Evanesian? Did they retire? Because in 23, I didn't hear any one of you all talking about splits. I haven't heard any of you with your sources in tandem speak about guarantee money. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything. I continue to keep my ear close. I continue to ask questions. I haven't heard the same energy from those that was speaking so vocal last year. Stand up if you're a fraud. That's all I want you to do. Stand up and admit that the information that you was putting out there for that particular fight, and believing that you can tell your casual listeners that the fight was going to take place in 22 and nothing happened. Explain. Go up here and explain to your listeners that you was wrong, that you was lying, and you was just basically going off everything that was rumor mill, something that wasn't even factual. I'm saying, where are your sources at? I heard so many of these YTC compeers get on here and say, my sources, my sources. Everybody's up here debating, going back and forth, clashing, head to head, horn to horn, channel to channel, freaking narrative to narrative. This is what I know. This is what I know. And none of y'all were right. The fight didn't happen, and y'all still over there talking as if Crawford has something to do with the fight. Still not happening to this day. We're in April. We're in the 4th month, and the fight still hasn't happened yet. This is after, Errol Spence said, Terrence Crawford coming for that effing belt, right? He told in the post press conference that's what he was planning on doing. But once he got out the ring with Yardenas Ugas, man, it went silent. It started to look like this. It's like all these dark Sumerians, these casual Sumerians, man, that was paying attention from the shadows. They were still waiting in the dark. They was waiting for hope. You all put these people in a state of delirium. They didn't know what the hell was going on. You made them change up the entire way that they go about living their daily lives. This is how they look. They just standing in that freaking room waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And you probably asking yourself, why don't they just leave the room? They don't want to leave. That's what happened when you have those mental health issues. When somebody has pretty much talked and confused you, you know what I'm saying, over and over again with false lies and information. People go to a state of delirium and they can't even move away from it, y'all. They can't even move away from it. This is how they look. They're just standing in a group waiting for information so they can say, okay, can I get permission to come back into the light? Because when I was out there the first time, I just got so frustrated and depressed that y'all kept on telling me these lies. So WCS is like asking you all, once again, where are your sources that was used yesterday to give you all this information? Where are they in 2023? They can't just walk away from you, because just last year, just several months ago, they was willing. They was voluntarily giving you all pertinent information to the negotiation process. They was allowing you all to know the logistics of this negotiation. And all of you all, most of you all jumped on here and did live after live after live, putting up false announcement dates, false fight dates, going off anything. We're talking about people who at least completed high school. They at least completed high school. They just going off looking and nearing and acting like, oh man, they say it's gonna happen. That's what it is. They say it's gonna happen. It's looking, it's nearing. And then they would be dropping names of these sources all over the place, and it's no action at the end of it. There's no exclamation mark at the end of these narratives that y'all was pushing in 22. That's the weird, strange part about it. You know what I'm saying? I remember this right here. When Errol Spence say, I don't need to lie. I don't throw shade. Hold on for a second. He said, I don't throw shade. Your little chilly ass going to be heartbroken when I put that boy Dick in the dirt. That was him responding to Keyshawn Davis. Now, that was quite a while ago. And I was thinking, if you're going to tell another fighter that has nothing to do with you and the fighter that we want you to fight, that we want you to sign the contract, we want you to get everything taken care of. Listen, you spent that much time explaining to Keyshawn what you was going to do to Bud Crawford. Just like a lot of individuals on here. They spent a lot of freaking time speaking about Terrence Crawford. Notice I said about Terrence Crawford. You would think they'd be speaking about Errol Spence, but they spent 99.9% of their time talking about Crawford. These are ERROLSEXUALS now. They have a different type of mental health issue. I talk about the schizophrenia, right? How they switch up personalities, outside they don't, they have their little sidebar conversation, then they get online and then they speak as if, they in support of Errol Spence, but yet and still all they do is talk about Terrence Bud Crawford. This is something that's infectious. It's very infectious in the YTC. So I continue to ask these questions. Y'all went and listened to the post-fight of Errol Spence after Udinese Ugas, and doing this investigation, right? And doing my investigation, I was listening to everyone talk about what Bud Crawford wasn't doing. A person that had left his promotion and went over there in an attempt to negotiate with the Grand Poobah himself, Al Heyman, aka Alan Heyman. He went over there. You have to give it up for him. He attempted to do what a lot of boxers wouldn't have. He wanted to do it in the spirit that it would be in good faith, it would be good for business, and he won't find himself tied down in a knot after it's all said and done. He didn't want to sign a multiple fight deal with PBC. He just wanted to go over there and get that one fight out the way and then move up to 154. But truth be told, it's just too much footage out here for us to come up with a ruling that Errol Spence was the one that wanted to push this freaking welterweight undisputed. He was the one wanted to push the welterweight undisputed. He was. He said it over and over again. It seemed like he was on a mission. He went up there and picked up the 3/4 of the belt, right? So if you're gonna do all that leg work, why not carry it on out to the finish line? It's funny how they'll sit up here and they'll say, well, you got to understand, Sean Porter, who was he signed under? Udinese Ugas, who was he signed under? And WCS will tell you, well, y'all didn't know that when he said he won't take the easy route. Wouldn't y'all have known that when he said he won't take the easy route? Y'all was busy up here talking about who was signed underneath PBC, but yet you knew Crawford was not one of those fighters. But hardly any of you was looking long term in the forecast to say, you know what, he can pick up that WBC and WBA belt, but when it comes down to Crawford, that's going to be a bit more complex for him to tie down to finish the deal. Why? Because amongst all the bitching and complaining, Crawford ended up leaving Top Rank. He was done with them. I checked the box on Crawford doing that because it was time for him to try to move elsewhere to try to make this fight happen. Because we all know what he said. You couldn't get me to fight while I was signed with you, and I don't believe you can get me to fight when I'm not signed with you. And then he went on about his merry way and tried to step on the battlegrounds of PBC Grand Poobah and get that fight done. And it didn't happen. It wasn't Crawford's fault it didn't happen. It wasn't Crawford's fault it didn't happen. It was the ones. Look, how can Crawford have that much power, but you keep on complaining about things that's not going his way? What he's not doing right. He's bad for business. He's moving. How can everything be the blame of Crawford when he didn't have a promotion? The man stepped over there to try to talk with Al Heyman. So you can't say in one sentence that him stepping to Al Heyman with no promotion isn't plausible. We shouldn't give his credit for stepping over there on the battle lines with Al Heyman to try to make this deal work. How can everything be on Crawford when Errol Spence them is the A side? This is information that you all heard before. How can Crawford has that much power coming over there as the B side, and y'all telling him what he should and shouldn't do, and how he's moving? He's negotiating in bad faith. If I didn't know any better, right? I would think all of you all are somehow, some way attached emotionally by umbilical cord. Some type of umbilical connection has you all feed your appetite with the same agitprop. The man is a B-side. You all have made that perfectly clear all the time. He is a B-side. So if the man is a B-side, why do you continue to give him this fake, like y'all give him this fake punishment, these fake repercussions and consequences for attempting to go over there and make the fight that you want to see happen? How can you continue to talk about Crawford negotiating in bad faith and he's moving and all that when your boy Errol is the A side? He has the power on his side. He has the proven authority. He has the power on his side. He has Al Heyman on his side. So how can you say that Bud Crawford is moving this way and that way? He just can't drive through the freaking PBC highway and do anything he wants to over there. He cannot do that. It's not allowable. That's why I'm sitting up here wondering why grown adults continue to monger together and act like this is some schoolyard press conference, and you all are willing to talk about the same thing that didn't work for you all in 22. So since it didn't work in 22, you want to bring it over to 23 like it's some type of refreshment. Like people need to be reminded of what didn't work in 22. We're moving forward in this year, and the fight still hasn't happened. But what's tardy from the activity each and every time, what is extremely tardy, is the sources that y'all say y'all had in 22. I don't hear anything about those sources in 23. Why is that? Let me hold that thought and get to the chat. Why is that? Why I don't hear anything about those sources in this year? I demand to know where your sources went to. I demand to know where your sources are at this moment, this right here. I demand to know where the source is at, bro. If you all had active sources that was willing to be that engaged with supplying you with information, I want to know. I demand answers. I want the answers on where are they at in 19 and I would say 9. Yeah, it seems a little bit in 2023. Where are those sources at, man? They just can't disappear because the promotions ain't disappeared. And a lot of you all said you had sources from those promotions. And truth be told, we was only dealing with Crawford and Al Heyman. Errol Spence is the projected opponent. So we was talking about Bud Crawford, Al Heyman. That was the two. Steven Espinosa was a bystander onlooker. He was involved just a tad bit, but like I said, the seal this up, Espinosa said it himself that he is not privy to all the conversations that Al may have with Tim. You know what I'm saying? He's not privy to all the conversations he may have with Tom. He's not privy to all those conversations. So it may be some language that's communicated between them two that he's on the outside and he wasn't privy to. So when he get on here and say certain things that's contradicting outside of what Al Heyman or whoever else is closer to that side, he's letting you know there's some dead space in between there. You know what I'm saying? There's some dead space. So you need to take that for what it is. But back to the sources, back to the chat. Shout out to True Media Today USA, Coach Malachi on deck. What's good? Lost All the Boxing on deck. Samar Warren on deck. What's good? The XO Factory on deck. Jones on deck. Toby Bartlett on deck. Salute to you. So this where I'm at, right? These individuals, whoever you may be, the ERROLSEXUALS individuals, right? Those of you that seem to get a little bit perturbed every time I mention ERROLSEXUALs, right? It's just a broad community that's put out here with a label on it. So you shouldn't be that upset. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't let it change the way your post is when it comes to YTC. But we put up with a lot of information that's very disturbing, a lot of fake information. But my point is, y'all pushed the design in 2022 based off bloviated rumors from phantom or imaginary occupants residing in your headspace. You told us that your sources was giving you this information and nothing added up. July 4th didn't add up. September 4th didn't add up. Them fighting in October didn't add up. Them fighting in November didn't add up. December didn't add up. But yet you continue to talk about Bud Crawford and how he was negotiating in bad faith. These are the same people that go to the local food mart with coupons. And they shop with coupons. You know, they have a section in their house, an empty room, and it's nothing but coupons in there. They just go in there and play around in coupons every time it's time to get grocery. So they'll be willing to negotiate and save money and everything else that goes along with that. They'll be willing to go purchase a vehicle and negotiate the price and make it what's affordable to them. But then when it comes to Bud Crawford, every step he make, he's negotiating in bad faith because it doesn't satisfy them. He's not there to appease the ERROLSEXUALs. He's already behind enemy lines. So when he goes over there, he has to have a mindset is that I'm going to get as much as I possibly can from this. I'm going to go in here and negotiate as strong as I possibly can without either party thinking they should just walk away and capitulate to what we currently have going on. Because look, you just can't keep touch and go with these negotiations. Once you are in there and you have Al Heyman's time, you got to basically utilize that time effectively. So Bud has a one shot, one kill type of moment if he's going over there to speak to Al Heyman about these negotiations. He can't play around and say, I'll hit you up in a little bit. Yeah, I'll be back. You know, don't worry about it, man. No, you know, it is what it is. No, you have to, people have to understand what you hear out here on YouTube is not actually what goes on behind the scene with Al Heyman. We talking about Al Heyman, dog. We talking about a big dog, a shaker and mover in the business. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Gumbo, aka Hot Grease. You already know what it is. Man, much love to you there, Gumbo. Good to see you in the building. $10 super chat on deck. My sources made a mistake. So what? Send a super chat to refresh my chat. Man, you have never, ever, ever, ever come on live. That is the absolute that we can talk about. That is the truth. You know what I'm saying? I made a mistake. So what? Refresh the super chat right now. They playing with me. Refresh the super chat. refresh the super chat, refresh it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mr. Gumbo for that. It's much appreciated, brother. You know what I'm saying? One love to you. So let me get back to what I was saying about those imaginary sources living in their headspace. If you go out here and continue to speak to the people that's your listeners, or those of them that just tuning in and passerbys, right? And they continue to hear this and hear this and hear this. Sooner or later, it's going to get to a point when it all doesn't come to fruition. As a man or a woman, you have to say, okay, as a content creator, I'm not bonded by any type of freaking, religious literature or anything like that. I don't never hear these dudes talk about apologizing to their listeners. They don't ever apologize for that. You know what I'm saying? It seems like their action to them seem very innocuous, right? For them to mislead their parishioners, man. And then these same parishioners who's been listening to them, they'll seek refuge on someone else's platform. And those of us like myself who tune in and listen, you will see them taking refuge on somebody else's platform, attempting to speak the same rhetoric that has them on that platform to begin with. Because then they start to try to seek validation elsewhere. If they've been listening to this individual and it didn't come true, they'll go over there and try to, somehow, some way find out the why. Why didn't it work? What does this particular person say? They start to doubt themselves. That's where the confusion comes into play. They'll take up refuge on somebody else's platform. They'll type in the chat, and then they'll go on the panel, and you'll know exactly where they've been living and why they're so contaminated when they come over here, because they come over here talking the same nonsense, and who's been talking that nonsense. And that's where the YTC is so polluted with individuals with mental health disorders, because they sit in somebody's chat too long that give them information that never come to fruition, and they don't hold them accountable either. Where are your sources? That's it. Where are your sources, man? I think that's a legitimate question to ask anyone that who I'm talking to. Where are your sources? And you hear what WCS say, okay, I speak about rhetoric, right? They'll sit up here and talk this rhetoric. They will preach it, man. And they would go on a long spiel on, I can't reveal who it is, but they told me this. They told me this. My sources say it's going to be September 4th. Now, some people tune in and say, okay, let me examine this a little bit further. If it's going to be September 4th, okay, that's the day before Labor Day, this, that, that. Why is it September 4th? Oh, we got a fight card going on. But the fight card isn't big enough. This shit happened last year, y'all. So they try to say the fight was going to be announced, before Labor Day, because we're getting closer to November date, supposedly. So it's going to be, announced on this date, which the fight wasn't big enough for a fight of this magnitude to be announced. Now, you dip over here to 23, it's the exact same thing. Sources have put it out here to the YTC pigeon feeding contest that somehow, some way, the fight is going to be announced April 22nd for Garcia and Davis. The fight is going to be announced again, y'all. It's the same design over and over again with the false information. I'm hoping that this information comes through. I'm hoping it comes through, because this was the same design last year. They said it was going to be announced at a fight. After July 4th fell through, it's going to be announced at a fight. You come over here to 23, what we got? We got April 22nd. It's supposed to be announced at the fight, y'all. Now we have Ring. We have a lot of other, supposedly above average media segues is out here putting this information, and none of them can confirm anything. Who is the source, bro? Are we dealing with Lord of the Rings? I mean, what type of venture are we on? I'm just curious. Where is the sources? Is that the new, you know, um, um, mental health placebo that they put out there? Where's the sources, bro? I'm just saying we have to determine something that is absolutely true is that people are talking about June 17th. People are talking about April 22nd. But hold up. That's not the way it worked. That's not the way it worked. We can't jump over. No, we got to handle this step by step. We just can't take a leap of faith and leave information behind because we still have people talking about it. I still see people speaking on Bud Crawford and what they believe he did last year, which is absolutely frivolous. It is pointless to be talking about this shit. It is absolutely foolish to be talking about what happened in 2022. It don't make any sense at all. But I want to ask you all that continue to talk about what happened last year. Why haven't you carry forward as content creators and speak about the numbers? I heard so many of you all who was proclaiming to be experts in 22 speak on numbers. What is the percentage? What is the guarantee? What are the fine details like your sources was providing for you in 22? That's what I want. That's what I want my listeners to know. That's what I choose to try to obtain the information. Where are the numbers now? We're sitting at a cool 2 weeks before April 22nd. This time last year, y'all was already on here doing lives about the numbers, saying what Crawford should and should not get, what he doesn't deserve. So I'm pleading with you all to provide me the location to where these sources are at this point in time. I just want to know, did they retire? Help me so I can explain it to my listeners. Where did all these active, dedicated sources that you had in 22 that was giving you line for line detail on these logistics to the negotiation, why aren't they volunteering information this year in 23? This is the biggest question, man. You know it's a legitimate question. You know it's a legitimate question that I'm asking. If you can't provide me with where your source is at and you choose not to be a part of the lie, then you need to apologize to your listener for wasting the time, including me. I wasn't listening with the intent of believing that you were speaking something with truth. I was listening just because I have to understand what truth is, what is true and what is false. You have to hear both sides. So when those stragglers come around in your fence line, you'll know where they at. You just go over there to the gate. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I was just over there. Crawford moving in bad faith. Oh, I see where you're coming from. Let me call the animal shelter and get you back where you belong. Okay. Okay, cool. Just stay right here. It's a little white truck that's gonna come up and they're gonna put you in the back and they'll take you back to whence you came. Okay. You know what I'm saying? They'll take you back from whence you came. All right. Let me get to some of these. But shout out to my guy Gumbo. The ERROLSEXUALS have gone quiet because their leaders are quiet. All those YouTube channels stand quiet this time. But this is my whole point, and not really, mentioning. I'm just mentioning the ERROLSEXUALs. Those are the committed individuals that in 2022 they was on a parade of justice to go out here and speak and run a smear campaign, a torchlit parade on Bud Crawford, because he got up, because it was time for him to get up and go the other way and get a fight in to end the year, instead of being bamboozled and hoodwinked by those individuals he was doing negotiations with And he made it perfectly clear that he wanted to fight in 2022, and they wanted to change the entire calendar. The entire calendar. And just imagine if Bud Crawford would have not went off his honor system, right? He fought in November 2021. He would have been out of the ring damn near a year and a half, over a year and a half, prior to stepping back in the square if they was to fight, quote unquote, in June of this year. A year and a half, y'all. Now you look at Errol Spence, who say he doesn't need tune-ups. He fought April 16th to 22, and he's going to be out the ring over a year by the time he step in with Crawford. But you know what the ERROLSEXUALS statement is going to be, right? They're going to say, well, you know, if it wasn't for this, that, and the other, they would have fought last year. They was never going to fight last year. So as grown-ass adults, man, all I'm doing is asking you brothers out there, why don't y'all just let it go? You're not turning over no new leaves. It's springtime, man. The leaves are on the tree, bro. Y'all keep on standing fall. Y'all busy over there looking on the ground for old leaves that you can find a Bud Crawford Errol Spence topic. That is right there. I found it. I remember when this used to be green. It had life to it. Look, if you picked up the dead leaf, leave it on the goddamn ground. Stop scrounging and trying to locate old information as if it's going to bring life in 23. It's not going to, y'all. Please. You all have freaking failed to produce the same sources and allow them to give you the numbers and logistics to this negotiation that supposedly never stopped. Supposedly this negotiation never stopped. But contrary to popular belief, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense that someone would say it never stopped. It just don't make any sense to me. Seriously. Because in one breath, they say it never stopped, but yet Michael Benson comes out here and say Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford contract talks have reportedly now restarted. What does re mean to you? What does that prefix mean? If you do something once and you have to redo it, isn't that mean it becomes what? A remediated action? It becomes something that you just done twice, right? You did it more than once. You had to go back and revisit it. Everything is to go and do once more. They're restarted. That means if in track, if the gun goes off and the runners come out the blocks and it goes off again, they have to restart because of some violation or whatever, false start, whatever. They have to go back to the blocks again and wait for the next gun. They restarted. If the race would have continued, there was no restart. The negotiations in this case, and I know it's far-fetched, right? But all I'm trying to say is if the information was out here about negotiation never ending and y'all choose to do live streams on it, why is Michael Benson saying reportedly now it's restarted? Then you have Crawford. Crawford put this out in a tweet where he said, it's crazy how y'all just assume something and then just gone just wrong with it. We at the end. So if they just restarted in that short period of time, but we at the end, I can't really say what Crawford's mentioning is about him and Errol Spence. It could be him and anybody. You know, he's the one that has the mandatory. I didn't really take it as if he was talking about, you know, him and Spence per se. The tweet above that could be like people assuming that him and Errol Spence is gonna fight or not. Or not. You know what I'm saying? It all depends or not. I'm just saying, what does it mean? Or why do we constantly have to be like, played with like that. Like we're grown adults. So it comes down to a point where we don't want to be played with like that. Just keep it serious. You know what I'm saying? Keep it to a point where we can move forward and have hope. Because you already know what boxing is all about, freaking hope. And that's why I'm hoping those ERROLSEXUALs hit me up in the DM and explain where are the same sources that you all were so vocal about last year. If you can't explain to me where your source is at from last year, right? That you were so right, is your sources, those of you that was just adamant, well, you need to shut the fuck up. You just need to let it ride, bro. Because we actually got people that's tuned in and really want this fight to happen. We have dedicated soldiers that's really standing 10 toes down for this fight to happen. Seriously, they definitely want this fight to happen. When it comes down to listening and hearing the same type of information that brings us no more clarity, that brings us no closer to the fight, it becomes frustrating. It becomes extremely frustrating. And I appreciate the ones who are committed to believing this fight gonna happen. And then you have some of you who's riding the fence. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be wrong, but let me tell you, it's okay to be wrong. We're imperfect. It's okay to be wrong. I'm just saying, for the ERROLSEXUALs, I want to be entertained like y'all was out there in the freaking YouTube streets in 22 talking all this rumbo jumbo. This gonna happen. Crawford don't deserve this. He should take this. I still want I want that energy this year. I want you to come with some new information. I want you to come out here and say, per my sources. It's almost like they shut YouTube down from even being a part of any information. If there is a negotiation going on, they shut y'all down. They pretty much proved my point. You can only go so far with YouTube. You can only go so far. But check this out. Should we be clapping? Should we be clapping? I haven't heard too many people speak about this. I don't really deal with, the odds and everything, but shout out to Blunts. He dropped this, to me. But should we be happy? Should we be jumping for joy, tapping our heels? Like, I didn't see you all corralling together and speaking about this. Now, I don't put faith in this at all. I don't, man. Because that happened last year too. Something like this happened last year with Spence and Crawford. I don't put too much into these betting odds, for them to draw us in like they always do. Now they at a point where they're drawing us back in. They want us to gravitate to the April 22nd card with vested interest that this fight, Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, will be announced on that night. Why does it always have to be the hocus pocus, the magic, man? Why can't boxing, the system allow information to be disseminated so we can get it and continue to go on about our, social media content creating lives? Who believes in this right here? Who believes that, it's odds out there and this fight will be indeed June 17th? We'll have to find out, y'all. Weren't y'all in a rush to remind these false prophets that was speaking in 2022? Yeah, I said it. These false prophets that was speaking in 22, all of them. They wasn't even speaking on Errol Spence. They were speaking all about Crawford. You remember the thumbnails I made? That Crawford was the hottest topic on YouTube. And that was because you had individuals that was running a complete smear campaign on this man. Why? Because they'll never be frontliners. They'll be onliners when it comes to media. So they saying, hey, I'm nice. I'm nice and tucked away in my safe haven online. I never go to these fights and see him. I never. They talk so bad. They talk so reckless, knowing that they'll never see this man in person because they don't plan on covering the fight on the front lines. That's facts. That's facts. But the false prophets, WCS just asking you this question, right? If you so-called was reading from the scripture last year about your sources, why in the hell can your sources translate information over to 23 and allow us to be blessed? Why? Why are we not hearing the active, confidence that you had with 65-35? Is it still 65-35? Can anyone tell me? Are y'all just going to talk about June 17th? Or are you going to talk about numbers? Let's go back to the numbers. I'm pretty sure Fanon out there scratching his goddamn penis head. You know what I'm saying? Fanon, I know you know. I know you know. Put the yak in the glass, man, and start coming up with ideas. What are the numbers, bro? Since you know so many people, what are the numbers? Dookie? Y'all don't have the numbers? Don't Dookie Brown has the numbers? Don't Dookie has the numbers? Wasn't he the one on his live showing texts from Spence? Don't you have some type of freaking, if they really mess with you like that, don't you have some type of connect? Come on, man. All y'all was corralled together. Y'all was at a unit. Y'all was moving as a unit with these dang details. Come on, man. Dookie got to. Come on, man. We got so many people that's actually rocking with Spence. I'm saying, where are the live streams on what percentage they're taking? What guarantee money they take? Where is the venue? If you all are incapable of providing that information, stop with the bullshit, bro. Stop sitting up here telling like you got sources that really support you and understand and respect what you're doing, and you can get information whenever you feel. No, that's not true. Because I hear all this information coming out from hires, from all these other segues, and it's not being broken on YTC. And even them, they're saying their sources. So if they're bringing you their sources for June 17th, where's all the YTC sources on the numbers? I want to hear the details. Come on, people. The infiltrators, the table talkers. Come on, like, you got to be behind them walls this time too. What did they do? Revoke your access? Did they revoke your access from last year to this year on getting this information? And I'm gonna be honest with the people, man. That just goes to show you, with the false prophets that was talking to you all, it was all bullshit the whole entire time. When you got a group of people that's in bed with a promotion and they don't want to falter from that, and they willing to go out here and push propaganda, that's exactly what you got. And they continue to believe that if they talk about Bud Crawford doing bad business, you know what I'm saying? He negotiate in bad faith, which is the dumbest, absolute dumbest statement or label that you can put on somebody like Crawford. Someone who's getting extremely a high guarantee at Top Rank, but yet and still, they don't look at the fact that Bob Arum said he lost enough money on Crawford to buy a house in Beverly Hills. It's not the fact that he was losing it on pay-per-view. It's the fact that there's a certain range that a fighter get paid that's not a pay-per-view fighter. Crawford far exceeded that monetary range. They're not going to talk about that shit, though. They're not going to talk about what Bob Arum truly meant by losing enough money to buy a house in Beverly Hills. They're not going to speak on that. And then when he leaves and he dibbles and dabbles and try to make the fight, they give that man no credit. You know what I'm saying? You give Crawford no credit for actually attending the table talks. to make this fight happen. No credit. All we hear is bickering, whining, and complaining. Tampon freaking rioters running around here swinging that mug in the air. You know what I'm saying? We want his bloody head. We want his bloody head. Swinging a tampon around. Thinking they're Marvel comics and shit. Everybody's walking around here all bloodied up. We're going to war. Come on, man. You don't want my imagination start talking. Come on, stop it, bro. Stop it. Where is all of this? You didn't even give Crawford credit for going over there speaking to Al Heyman. As a fighter, he's not a manager. He's not a matchmaker. The man actually took the initiative. The same thing you turn to your kid and say, hey, it's better for you to take the initiative and make the attempt than not make an attempt at all. You need to make the attempt. They're giving all these motivational speeches to their kids, but yet they're online talking about a grown-ass man and not giving him credit for making the attempt to make the fight that everybody want to see. You're still in 2022. That was several months ago. You're still over there. You ERROLSEXUALs. You false prophets. You're still over there. Y'all still grouped together, massaging each other's stupidity and trying to come up with some new old information. You see how stupid that sounds? They want to come up with some new old information. Well, I haven't talked about this in 2 weeks. I'm going to put that shit out here now. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that shit out there now. You know what I'm saying? It's some old, you know what I'm saying, stale information. I'm going to put it out there because they haven't heard it. Man, they got members coming on the YouTube every day, dog. There's some people out here. There's maybe 2 or 3 people that ain't ever heard this. That's how you keep it going and going and going, y'all. They be coming up with these plans, man. Massaging one another's stupidity. I just have the question. Do y'all believe the odds? Do y'all believe this fight is actually taking place? Because I don't get the certainty. I don't hear people standing up for this. I mean, we went through months and months and months for a Crawford smear campaign, but yet you're not privy to the information in 23. So they're choosing to stray away from a Crawford campaign because negotiation isn't accessible to them. The logistics isn't accessible to you in 23 this year. So you can't get together and stroke each other and talk all this dang defamatory stuff about Crawford because you have no information. Y'all have no information, bro. Last year you had information. All you did was talk about Crawford. When that man was up there trying to make it happen with Al Heyman. So now you have zero information from your sources. And you can't blame nothing on Crawford unless it's talking about something that's old, antiquated, and went down in 2022. And y'all still getting on here looking dumb as hell. Crawford, he's moving funny. I never heard a bunch of people as old as y'all are sit up here and say the same thing all the time. You know what I'm saying? He negotiating in bad faith. He moving funny. These are people, look, these are people that will never make the kind of money that Crawford has made in their life. Never. They will never make the money that man has made. But they are so jealous to the point they'll talk about Crawford just because he was smart enough to release himself from negotiation and go over there and fight David Avenesian. WCS will help you go back a little bit and kind of understand the design for which boxing allows fighters to enter the sport with very minimal prerequisites. All right. Let me remind you all that all you have to do is pass, to get your license. You don't have to have any prerequisites when it comes to amateur pedigree. You don't have to have a certain amount of credits, college credits from a non-accredited college, accredited college. You don't need that. You don't need to be a certain race, any of that. You can obtain your boxing license with minimal criteria. I've seen it with my own eyes. Guys come off the couch, never stepped in the gym to be the B-side fighter for fighters who are just starting off. Well, I'm talking about fighters who are 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. Yeah, 5-0. They're stepping in there with the guy in their debut. They're stepping in the guy that may be 2-1. I'm talking about as they progress up the chain of command. But they will step in the ring with a guy who's making their debut. And these guys could be undefeated, 2-0, 3-0, and they can pick up a debut guy. And the guy don't make it out the first round. I've seen, look, it's a fighter right now. Look. It's a female fighter I seen that I covered on the regional level. I'm not going to give too much info because she was just on TV. And this is no knock on her. It's no knock on her, real talk, because I know the design. I understand what the format and the design is in boxing when it comes to licenses and how you can start off the ground floor, right? I don't need to be able to hold mitts or lace up, for 10 years straight to know this shit, right? But I've seen her carry what is considered a bomb fighter at her level when they was talking about her being one of the upcoming risers. I seen her carry a fighter. I mean, a fighter that was scared to death. I've seen her carry a couple of fighters into the second round and take it easy on them. And I appreciate her respect. What's the word they use? Sportsmanship, so to speak, if you want to call it that. Carrying a fighter to rounds that they don't supposed to be going to because obviously they just a B-side opponent. They never fought a day in their life. So I'm going to allow this individual to have a bigger fight because if you watch TV, you pretty much recently too, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. But it'll be difficult, but you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I got the pictures to prove it. I actually was there covering the fight, but that person, I seen them carry a fighter, knowing damn well they could have went in there and just blasted through that opponent that had no freaking boxing whatsoever. So that's where I'm at with it when it comes to when they say negotiating in bad faith. They want to make a big deal about Bud Crawford fighting Avanesian. They want to make it seem like fighters don't come up on a name that people are not interested in. It happens all the freaking time, y'all. Are y'all really gonna praise freaking Inouye for stopping Paul Butler? Come on, bro. How did Paul Butler even get the title to begin with? So y'all can get mad at Joe Casemiro losing the title the way he did, and then Paul Butler picking up the title the way he did, and never being really considered to be competitive with Inouye, and then go in there and get stopped. Okay, anyway. All right, another question. That's a whole different topic. But all I'm doing is I'm highlighting in 23 because for a while I wasn't even speaking on this, but now since we have liftoff on this June 17th date, I want to speak on it. I want to speak about the individuals that's not giving us the information that they was actively engaged in last year. If you're going to be a false prophet, then be a false prophet now. See, what I like is it disengages you from running a smear campaign on Crawford for this because you don't know shit. You don't know nothing. You didn't know nothing last year. It was just information that was out there to sway the listeners. Y'all saying y'all all about this fight. This is the biggest fight. I never seen a group of dummies all together speaking the same dumb language in my life, man. All of you was sounding like fools based off information that was never true. And y'all all got together to run a smear campaign on one fighter when you saying it's the biggest fight in boxing. That's what I'm talking about. Mental health is serious in here. Schizophrenia is serious when it comes to the YTC boxing community. It's serious. Because just think about it. If you here and you have a passion for the sport of boxing, right? And you dedicate all these hours to speaking about boxing matches after boxing matches. And these are two individuals that's on the pound for pound. You chose to do what? You chose to smear their name, one half of their name, to dissuade the listeners from even tuning in to want to buy the fight. So you cowards come over here, you ERROLSEXUALS, you cowards come over here to 23, and you are you without information, right? You are without information. You have nothing to talk about, and you choose to talk about stuff back in 22 still. It leads me to this. Y'all must be like working in the stock department. Y'all must be the ones that handle the janitorial services at work. You must have jobs that keep you far away from the main staff. I'm just kidding. I'm not being mean about it. I'm just saying, like, you say you have a passion and you love boxing, but you keep talking about old stale information. You don't want to move forward. You hear the date, June 17th is on deck, supposedly, right? And they're going to supposedly, per their sources, announce the fight April 22nd. But I'm looking for all the information that you all was pressing the gas on 2022. Why aren't we hearing about the split? If y'all can do that for me, false prophets, can y'all please come up? Can somebody start the rumor, please? So we can really give them some information to talk about. We want to know what the split is. If Bud Crawford is fighting Errol Spence, and as you're looking at there, you know, the bed nods and all that, I want to hear what the split is. I want to know what the, if any, the guarantee money is going to be. I would definitely like to know what the venue is because I want to make a reservation. I want to make a reservation. Come on, man. I just want to make a reservation. Give me the venue. Just give me the venue, man. If y'all sources are out there, give me the venue. That's just three tasks that you have to. We want to know the split, right? We want to know if it's guaranteed money, if any. And since we already have that infamous June 17th, we want to know the venue. Does anybody know the venue? Is it going to be at Allegiant Stadium? Is it going to be something out of this world? Because that's what we want to know. Is it going to be at Allegiant Stadium? Because it's definitely not going to be in Texas. We know that. Where's it going to be? Because what we do know is that Errol Spence don't like leaving Texas when it comes to big fights. Oh, my fault. We have to think about one thing. Is the fight even real? Is the fight day even real? Is this just another ploy to strangle our attention and get us invested in staying so close to this? And in the end, we hanging from a tree? I don't get it. I don't get it, man. The false prophets, man, y'all need to hold them accountable, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised those guys are quiet at this time, especially these fools hate Crawford with the passion. When these individuals took the amount of hours they did to run a smear campaign, you know what I'm saying? Run a smear campaign. People who have family who sit up here and talk so fond, you know what I'm saying, so positive. They give all these compliments about their family and stuff, all these compliments, but yet internal to their room, their safe haven, where they can speak this propaganda, and their family is not even aware of it. They appear dogging a man out that has a family too, a fairly big family too, and take care of his family. That's the ultimate disrespect at the end of the day, because they'll turn around and say, well, WCS, you talk about Spence. I talk about Spence. But you all make it personal because the type of activities that Spence have gotten himself into outside the ring far outweigh anything Crawford has been accused of outside the ring. And then these guys will go back to when Crawford took a bullet to the head. And that just goes to show you how desperate and how jealous they are as individuals. You know what I'm saying? They're always trying to come up with some type of nefarious information on Crawford that has to do with something personal. You know, they'll talk, you know, they'll try to downplay the man as if he's not always posting pictures of his sons, you know, in the wrestling tournaments, his daughter, you know, with the viral video of her running out her shoe, going back and getting it and still winning the race. They don't want to talk about family orientated, delightful moments like that. They don't care, especially black men. The black men, they don't care, y'all. These are black men talking about other black men. But when Spence does something that jeopardizes his career, that has changed his life forever, they are mute. They don't want to talk about this at all. And then they feel like if I'm speaking on it, I'm hating. No, it's not hate. It's fact. It's fact. And the cowards that chose to be silent, but yet you sit up here around your name, your friends and family and relatives, those individuals you work with and see every day, and you sitting up there probably encouraging them to be the best they can ever be in life. That's the biggest damn hypocrisy ever, boy. That's the biggest hypocrisy you can be close to, for real. You know what I'm saying? You can talk all this talk about all that, but yet you don't even live it, man. Hey, Cam, that's all I'm saying. Shout out to Cam on deck, man. Salute to you, brother. Cam said, one love to the Archbishop, WCS, and the chat. The apostles in the building to layeth the hands and spread the good news of boxing. We need some layeth. We need some repenting there, Cam. Yes, sir. We need the repenting. I had to stop thinking about Bud versus Spence. It's just been too flaky for my taste. I let Blunts keep the faith for me on this one. Okay, I feel that. Very, very solid. I feel you on that, bro. Yes, sir. I understand where you at with it. You're not totally giving up on it, but you'll let the soldier that's willing to go and stand on the front lines to fight this war do what he's supposed to. I get it. You saying that is not a duty that you wish to carry out. You know what I'm saying? It's not something for you to carry out. That's a duty that you allow somebody that's in uniform, that's willing to stand 10 toes down for this. I get it, bro. But all I'm saying is, why isn't there more information from the false prophets of 22 to give us the fine details that you had last year? What changed? Because the only reason, like when you had those 65-35, I don't know how many times we must have heard that 1 million times on YouTube. The same source that provided you the 65-35, since you have sources, where are they at this point in time? Go seek out and ask them for this negotiation, since everybody's jumping on June 17th. Please, just find out what the split is. I'm curious. See if they're still going with no guarantee money, and net on the back end. 65-35 with the net on the back end. I just want to see if it changed since he fought the guy that don't mean anything, David Avanesian. And look, if y'all busy worrying about Crawford's money, y'all have to understand that the man did get paid. Why are so people worried about the money aspect of it when your fighter, Errol Spence, did not fight since Terrence Crawford fought David Avanesian? He is still in limbo. People was lying, talking about he was going to fight on Frank Martin's card. He didn't fight on Frank Martin's card. He did not. So you saying, I remember Duke said, oh, if he can fight in December, he can fight in February, fam. No, it ain't like that, fam. It ain't like that. Because he wouldn't have fought in February because Errol Spence wasn't ready to fight in February this year. So Crawford Spence would have been waiting in limbo for a fight to happen, just like we're witnessing right now. Just because this information is out there doesn't mean anything. The only thing it does, they always give us a small window to become very anxiously involved. And now it's 2 weeks out, April 22nd. That's what it is. They want you anxiously involved to wait. They give you a short window for you to stress yourself out and wait for that night. Everybody's tuned in. They goddamn make sure they have all the dang finger foods and all that up there to tune in to Ryan Garcia and Tank. I hope to God, listen to y'all false prophets. I hope to God, whatever God you worship, you know, if you switch it around and spell it backwards, hey, if that's the one you worship, cool. I'm just telling you, I hope for your sake that they announce this fight on April 22nd. Seriously, I hope they do. Hello, ones, what's good? What's good? I hope they announce it. Samad, what's good? Espinosa has only said they still talking. They've been talking all the way through. So why is it now the fight is made? This is all crazy to me. So you know how many people that I hear that has Stephen Espinosa's number, right? And they say they can call Espinosa, right? Right? I hear so many people saying they can call him up, they can call him up, they can call him up, right? You hear it all the time. I call him up. I got his number. I can call him up. Okay. WCS is putting out a request. Okay. I want you just to ask, since it's all done, what's the split? Somebody start the rumor. Okay, I'm gonna cut to the chase. I want the false prophets to start the rumor again. Since you just like talking about false information, false prophets, start up the rumor. Just start up two rumors: the split, and is it any guarantee money? That's all I want you to do. Split, guarantee money. I know I'm reaching far and broad talking about a venue, but the split, guarantee money. What's that looking like? Are they 50-50 right now? Ooh, them false prophets don't want to hear about no 50-50, shawty. Are they 50-50? What we sitting at? 60-40 this time? Is he going to be able to round that up? 60-40, man. What are we looking at? 60-40? What are we looking at, man? 55-45? All I want to know is, for those of you that has Stephen Espinosa's number, can you please just do WCS a favor to calm down all these individuals that's living anxiously, that's waiting day after day for new information. One of y'all out there need to start a rumor like y'all did in 2022. So y'all can start talking to BS and playing around in the toilet again. I like when y'all play around in the toilet. You know what I'm saying? I do. I like it, man. When y'all just go around and play around in the toilet, stick your goddamn styrofoam cup in there and be sipping on that shitty information, and then go out here and talk to your chat about it. I love that shit, bro. A grown ass man just playing around in the toilet and shit, bro. I want y'all to give me that information, please. Does any one of y'all have to split? That's all I want to know. 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. Take whatever we give you. You know what I'm saying, coach? Take whatever they give you, dog. That's what they were saying last year. Take whatever they give you. Listen how disrespectful that is, right? We're talking about human beings talking about a fighter who competes in a sport that they supposedly love. They get on here and talk about they love this sport of boxing, but they would tell a man to take 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. Errol Spence was on record on multiple occasions saying that, but yet he get on Brian Custer and Brian Custer asked him about it. He this day of time, I don't know what Errol Spence is laughing at. I really don't know what he's laughing at. I see a lot of niggas laugh at shit. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That schizophrenia shit is real, bro. That schizo is real. But he said, I was just joking. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. You was dead ass serious, bro. When you was walking out the arena, when you was on the video, you know, with the stripper, all that. You meant what you said. And that is exactly why the negotiation process was extremely difficult, because Errol Spence's mindset was to attempt to lowball Terrence Crawford into frustration to deter him from taking the fight. They wasn't trying to get the fight. They just wanted to deter him from making the fight. Shout out to Mr. Gumbo, aka Hot Grease, with the $5 super chat, man. Dookie Brown plead the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. Shout out to David Chappelle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you ain't lying there, Gumbo. You know what I'm saying? You ain't lying. They had all the connects. They got Errol Spence number. They got Steven Espinosa's number. They look. They happy to have that number. Look, I had that way back when I told you all I was out there fishing for interviews, and I ran up on the table with Dillian White and them way back when. I had Espinosa's number forever and a day. But these cats go up here and just toss it around. Oh, I'm gonna talk to Espinosa on Twitter, via Twitter. And I expect for him to give me all the updated information so I can now bring that back to my listeners and inform you, because I am the source. Yes, I am the source. I don't need sources because I am the source. Now stop it. What's going on? Dixon on deck, man. He said the whole time EJ was on vacation. The whole time EJ was on vacation is absolutely fact. That man wasn't going to fight. But like I said before, and shout out to Mr. Gumbo with the $5 super chat in the building. The whole point that I be trying to, deter people or enlighten them, so to speak, when you hear these same voices talking about 22-22 and what Bud Crawford, now it becomes to the point where you're stalking a man. Now it becomes stalkerish. I have a light-skinned stalker, for real. I wouldn't say I had. He probably still tuning into my stuff, but I have a light-skinned stalker. You know what I'm saying? KO68 TV. I have a light-skinned stalker trying to stalk me freaking around YouTube because he was goddamn on his menstrual cycle and he couldn't know how to control it. You know what I'm saying? He was showing up, and all I was putting out there is these individuals are talking about the same false information all the time. And they weren't my mandatory when it comes to debate. And he's stalking me on other people's freaking panel. That holds true to this day. You know what I'm saying? That holds true to this day. Still the same debates on old information, no trophy being presented, the same bias ass judges. I can't make this stuff up, bro. So, shout out to the person that didn't drop the information, because we don't know who the true sources are. I'm just providing a lifeline out to my listeners, letting them know that I'm trying to figure this out just like you. I'm trying to figure out why these same boisterous voices that was going on in 22, why aren't they having the same energy in 2023? You are missing a whole gap. It's a huge gap of information that we are not a part of in 23, y'all. All y'all. All you aerosexuals that was sitting up here being so vocal. You all was protesting every time you get when Terrence went over there to be okay. Where's all the information? We tired of hearing about that 2022 and who walked away. The dude's already Terrence already got paid already. He already has another win to his record. He has another knockout on his record. Is it anybody close to you that can tell you, hey, move on, son? Move on. I know it hurts you that he got up and he made a grown man decision to go, man, move on. Move the F on, bro. Move the F out of this freaking conundrum that you're in. Get out the funk. What's wrong with y'all? Get out the funk. Just because, look, you hear me talk about it, don't go out here and make another video like you're gonna make me feel some type of way. You're definitely not gonna make me feel any type of way. I'm just concerned about the YTC mental health. We have a lot of schizos that's mongering around the YTC, and they keep on talking about the same information. But I'm talking about right here, right now, in this year. Please come up with new information on the split, the guarantee money. I want to hear some details about conversations, because everybody had conversations. Everybody had conversations about the hedge fund, what Terrence Crawford said to Errol, and what Errol said in reply to Crawford. You know what I'm saying? What Al Heyman was saying and all this. Bro, what happened to your sources? Are they unemployed? Are y'all going through a YTC recession right now because of the policy change? Are y'all mad because there's a policy change and y'all took a goddamn financial hit and now y'all want to go look for a real job? Because I'm just saying, dog, I try to warn you. I try to tell you. I try to tell you, goddamn coach was taking over, but y'all didn't want to listen. You need to link up. You need to know how to surpass the ceiling. You need to know what the upward projection would be. You know, get with a team, get the networking going. Told y'all didn't want to listen, man. You know, now coach up here stumping on y'all like y'all a doormat. Don't blame it on YTC. Don't say, no, man, it's messed up. They didn't even really give us heads up, man. Man, I had a future with the YTC, man. I had a future, dog. That's always this been stripped from me now, man. It's been stripped from me, dog. I'm still waiting on the post office to get back with me. I got to get back and find me a career with benefits. They every one of my videos, they say limited suitability. Limited suitability. Oh my God, dog. Man, they both are mad, dog. They mad. Where's that information? Get me my information, y'all. Get me my information. That's all I'm saying. Get me my information, because listen, this is how it looks. This is how petty it is for me. And though I talk about how many people that you had riding along with y'all in 2022, Them seats was filled because y'all had that false information coming out. In 23, that's what it looks like to me. Where's all the information at? It doesn't seem like you have enough for people to just ride it off until the wheels fall off. Where's the information? It seems like the caravan is empty. The seats aren't filled. This is what it looks like to me. Where are the passengers that was so holy, that was standing 10 toes down? They was standing close. They was buckled in, strapped. You know what I'm saying? They was there every time you went live talking about the same bullshit. Where are they now? They're not purchasing the ticket. They're not there for the fare, huh? They're not going on for the ride share, the Lyft, the Uber, because you don't have no current information to run a smear campaign on a fighter that you don't even know if going to step in the ring with Errol Spence or not. You don't even have enough information. That's why your passenger van, you know what I'm saying, looks like that. It's empty. That's it. That shit's empty as hell. You know I'm telling the truth, man. It's empty as hell. It's empty. Sources, unemployment. Give me my information. Hey, Gumbo. Truth be told, man, they might begin to try to hit you up, anonymously, right? It's gonna be anonymous, right? And they're gonna say, "Hey, Gumbo, man, apart from what we were screenshotting, man, the way we was treating you and all that, man, you're OG, man. You're OG at the end of the day, man. I just want to tell you, man, I apologize, man. And I ain't trying to sound like Terrence Howard, man. I'm just saying, man. When it all boils down to it, man, I'm just trying to see, can you point me in the right direction with this trucking business, man? Maybe we can get together and go on and do a couple of loads, man, until I save up enough money to get my own truck, man. It's hard out here trying to be, a black man who has a job with benefits, man. It's hard out here for me. So if you can do me a favor, man, and get back with me, hit me in the DM, so we can set up a schedule. So, you can pick me up, man, when you drop in town and kind of explain to me how to get this trucking business going, man. You know why I asked you that Gumbo? Because I think if I have a mobile transport, I could still, do lives on YouTube while I'm driving down the highway, man, and make dual income, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at right here, man. I can make dual income. I can do my lives, man, and then I can do my deliveries. But all I need for you to help me out, man. And like, once again, I'm gonna get with the brothers, and they're gonna issue a public apology. But yet, we want you to show us the way, man. They want Gumbo to come to their help. Hey, Gumbo, man, you've been out here, man. You've been out here for a long time, man. Please help me out, man. This YouTube ain't it, man. They say YouTube ain't it no more, dog. Come on, man. Stop it. YouTube ain't it no more. Stop it. What you mean YouTube ain't it? Coach said, I think that we have proved to the people that these pro-ERROLSEXUALs YouTube channels have no credibility at all. Their own subscribers don't even believe them anymore. Hey, Coach, I believe to be 100% correct, and that's why I put this frame up here, because that's what it looks like. If you would have went to this frame last year, around August, September, when everybody was engaged and believing that they know everything it is to know internal to negotiation, these seats would have been filled. It would have been individuals sitting in the aisle. That looked like a single person seat, like a one person seat, right? If you lift up the armrest, I'm pretty sure you can see about two more bodies. It was people sitting, you know what I'm saying, two to a seat. It was crammed in there, man, because they felt that they was going somewhere important based off the teachings from the false prophet. Those same for-profits has proven WCS was absolutely correct and online with what I was saying, that they was putting out clickbait, false information, and knowing that the shit didn't come true, they should have went and apologized and said, I was wrong. Because we're not perfect. I've been wrong in life. But I'm saying when you blatantly putting out false information about a fight that we want to see, and you feel like you just want to benefit off the viewership and gain subscribers, now what? Y'all systematically somewhat changed probably how YouTube run things with all the complaints that came from this smear campaign. I'm being honest. I was in a conversation about that. You know, they may not look at it, but yes, it's a lot that changed when you had individuals talking so reckless about fighters on here to the point where it affects their personal lives. And they was able to do that on YouTube, and it was pretty much promoting hate. These fighters have children, and it was promoting hate. Now, if you going out here in the streets and you messing up, it's public record. It's public record. It's nothing that can be done about it. But when you up here creating, you know what I'm saying, a false picture, when you make it extremely personal about these fighters, you think they're not going to speak to YouTube. You know, you think higher ups and attorneys behind the line is not going to speak to YouTube about anything. You think it's not going to happen? Yeah, they're going to happen. It's going to happen, y'all. And it has happened. It has happened. You got idiots up here. They be dropping vulgarity every time they online. You know what I'm saying? I see him in the dark room over there. You know what I'm saying? I heard you mention my name, but you ain't gonna get no play today. You just continue to count the days. All right. You know what I'm saying? Hoe ass nigga. You all a real one, man. Let me see if I missed. Let me see. Crawford will pull that powder, splash it on his face, and pull that black leather whip in the fight. And Spencer's going to be named Toby. Uncle Tom will be wild. See, that's another thing. You know, I agree, Coach. Drop the Addy for real. And that's another thing about, you know, what Crawford's been through with the Top Rank Toby. These are the same individuals that said that Top Rank was a plantation, right? And when you talk about somebody being a character from a slave movie, Roots, right? And you have black men who are supposed to pretty much combine in with, you know, understanding mentally and have some type of connection to it because we are black. And majority of the voices that was calling Terrence Crawford Top Rank Toby was derived from a certain group of channels, but they didn't see any harm in that. They didn't see any harm in what they was doing and calling him Top Rank Toby. Now, what was the dumbest part about it, the ignorance of these individuals, that Top Rank does have a lot of black fighters over there. More so the one that left the promotion behind to seek the fight that everybody was talking about. He still didn't get credit. And then when he filed some lawsuit against Bob Arum or something, they was criticizing Terrence Crawford for filing a lawsuit for the very reason that they was criticizing promotion for back in the day for being a plantation and goddamn just treating black fighters like they ain't nothing. It's not confusing, y'all. It's not confusing at all. These dudes are cowards. They're cowards online, and they pretty much cowards in real life. They will sit up here and pass a narrative, push a narrative out to the people, and it's extremely with malice. Extremely with malice, and they don't even care. They would do this every single day just for views. And how stupid, they overstepped their boundaries, and now the YouTube's changed how they fully monetize your videos. So you want to go over there and start cussing and screaming and talking all that rhetoric, majority of your videos are not going to be either monetized or fully monetized because of the stupidity that went on in a smear campaign. I'm just telling you what has transitioned over the past year with running a smear campaign on fighters for their own personal benefit. And check this out. I had some people like, we talked. I had some people, because I've covered several top ranked cards, right? And I got mad love for Top Rank when it comes to media other than PBC. I'm gonna be honest. When I can go over the Top Rank, and I spoke to one of the higher ups about this too, and they didn't quite like it. It wasn't for them to like. I was just telling them, if I'm covering PBC cards, I would like to do it in peace. I'm not nobody's child like that. I know how to cover a card. Let me work. But everybody has their favorites and all this other stuff. But with Top Rank, I'm able to go in there and Top Rank allow us to work. So I'm telling you all that was listening to these black racist extremists that was over there dogging out a promotion who has several black fighters. I mean, not the token black fighter. They have several fighters that are signed to that promotion. Several. But yet you had these channels up there all because they want to talk and be so malicious about certain fighters, especially Crawford, that now YouTube has pretty much changed policies that prevent something like this from happening again. Don't say I ain't never tell you. It was a lot of paperwork being submitted behind the scenes because these channels wanted to go out here and run a smear campaign on fighters. And you think they don't have legal teams that submit paperwork and put in their grievances? Like, hey, check this out. Look on this person's channel, look on that channel, look on this. It's not just freedom of speech anymore. It comes down to you all are targeting a certain individual over and over again. You're targeting them over and over again with the same negative information that's going out to the people. Why does it have to be like that in boxing? Seriously, why does it have to? I don't see this in MMA like that. I'm not saying you don't have fans that don't like fighters some of the time, but when it comes to boxing, you would talk so much trash about the promotion that the boxer was signed to. He leaves, and then one of your other favorite fighters signed to the same promotion, and now you want to act like, oh, we're going to support the fighter, but not the promotion. It's the dumbest shit you could ever imagine, y'all. They was up here saying that the promotion was all bad, but yet their favorite fighter signed to the promotion. All of a sudden, oh, we got to support the fighter. We want to support this. I was just curious. You know what I'm saying? Just to put that information out there. I was just curious as to how that works. I'm just curious. You are real one mind. For real, man. I'm just saying they're gonna go get with Gumbo, man, and try to have him link them up to a freaking, how the trucking business work and all that, so they can continue to do live streams while they on the road picking up freaking shipments and everything, and they can still maintain a job that's gonna they can make some money off of, because YouTube they shut a lot of that down, and it's good that they kind of tighten up on the policies to prevent something like this from happening again. You know what I'm saying? Now you're gonna see individuals that was over there talking reckless and rambunctious, you know what I'm saying, cantankerous. Now you're gonna see them looking at it like, well, the heck with it, man. I'm gonna be me. That's the stupidity. I ain't changing for nobody. Okay, watch those numbers drop. Watch those numbers drop, dog. Continue to be you. It ain't. Hey, we don't have no freedom of speech, on a freaking platform that we don't own. You know what I'm saying? We don't have Even if you pay to be a part of a platform to say what you want to say, ultimately you still don't have the right. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the full invested right to say what you want because you're still under the control of who you bought into. You bought into this. Somebody else is controlling your privilege. So once they feel your privilege should be revoked, they will terminate you. And that's exactly what we have here. Whoever would have thought that you have the freedom of speech and like your constitutional rights bleed over to YouTube? No, it doesn't. Partially, you have the freedom of speech, but you also have it up to a point where they can restrict your video or make it ineligible and it can't even be viewed. And if it gets so bad, they will take your channel down like so many channels. You know what I'm saying? Like so many channels have been taken down for stupidity. They don't learn though. They don't learn. Coach Say W says this is true. YouTube has changed their algorithm again. This is why some of these channels that were having 700 to 800 people at their live shows don't have anymore. No doubt, man. That's why, Coach, hey, I was being genuine. I would say, hey, only certain people can break the ceiling, you know, because they have educated themselves to be multitaskers. You know, I told Coach that. You know, his channel is still buzzing in the time of depression. We are the YTC depression right now. So only the strong is going to survive that has more areas, that's more versatile to be able to grow their channel than the ones who was just sitting in the living room. You know, I don't want to go too far in detail, but I'm just saying right now, you know, True Media, he has a lot of freaking versatility to expand outside of the Great Depression that you're witnessing on the YTC. I don't want to bring up bad memories to these people, okay? All right. Let me take away this the empty cargo. Okay. I don't want to piss nobody off. And there is some other channels out there that have potential. And look, I know people are gonna say, but understand one thing. Before I told you, I like being on the front lines. I like doing my own shit. It's people that wanted to hire me. Look, it's people that spoke to me even this past weekend that want me to come work. I don't want to be on nobody else's schedule. I don't want to have to be on a plane all the time going. And I can do that if I wanted to. I just don't want to do it. I like moving the way I want to move, having my freedom and not being under the charge of someone else. Fight after fight after fight, bro. If you think people don't respect me for my work, okay, it's cool. But I'm versatile outside of the YouTube. I'm very well where I'm at in life. It's just hard to get this past to these individuals, you know what I'm saying, that don't understand the passion, man. But shout out to Coach, man. Continue to buzz, man. Continue to grow. Continue to light their ass up. You know what I'm saying? Continue to keep it popping. You know what I'm saying? They can't mess with an educated brother that's multitasking, that's prepared himself for days like this. They don't understand, Coach, for real. You know what I'm saying? They can't even, if they wanted to, they can't even find the damn material or the literature to catch up. If they really try to educate themselves, they can't do it. It takes a lot of time to do that. That's why a lot of guys are being demonetized. Hey, XO, you said it, bro. I guess I'm looking just like you, huh? No, I'm talking about not you, XO. I'm talking about the ones that people always talking about my numbers. I'm looking like y'all, huh? Y'all looking like me now, huh? Don't be mad. Y'all should have been on here running the smear campaign and got the rules changed. You know what I'm saying? Y'all up here getting personal and like people are not going to complain behind the scenes. Tell me what is going on over YouTube, man. Y'all got to really pay attention to the what they doing. They're doing a video, 30, 40 videos a month on the same person spewing hatred. That was hatred that was out there, y'all.
They were spewing hatred on that man. You know what I'm saying? They were spewing hatred, bro. But the challenge is coming up, you know, like the XO Factory, Big Bumps and Boxing. You know what I'm saying? The challenge is coming up. Continue to run, man. Cam, Bruce Gas Boxing. Yeah, that's another dang channel, man. That I like, you know, going to the back in the window of time when it comes to old school boxing and stuff, man. Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz, man. That's the OG right there. No doubt about it. He'll take you back in time, man. I think a lot of people should start to pay attention because that's where boxing, you go back to where boxing originally started to blossom. There's a lot, man. You know, just like they was talking about how Robeisy Ramirez, right, lost his debut. He's a two-time Olympian. And then all the other people that they talked about, you know, Robeisy, Henry Armstrong, Bernard Hopkins, and so forth. And yeah, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Robeisy Ramirez, man. You know, history is always going to be a part of the present. Always. History is always be a part of the present. Oh, DBMH was on deck. Shout out to DBMH, man. I ain't see you up there. DBMH was on deck. Lost all the boxing if I ain't get you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Hey, man, try to, my boy Dion. Hey, try to hit him up though. Yeah, y'all know I make a good point. Y'all know I make a good point about this information, man. They don't have no information. It's nowhere close to the activity that was being spewed out here in 22. Y'all know it's true, man. Ask them why they're not coming up with those sources of information. What is Dookie Brown going to do now that is a new algorithm, is a new policy? What are you going to do now? Yeah, you rode that little wave trying to come at me, brother, but look at you now, shawty. It's difficult. You're going to have to raise up that daily limit to 5 stacks like I told you, bro. I told y'all. YouTube ain't going to be like this forever. I told you it wasn't going to be like that forever. Now y'all dudes trying to find out what positions they got open at freaking Walmart. I'm saying I want to go work at Publix at least. You know, I know I get hungry. I get a discount on groceries. No, nigga. Continue to do what y'all do, man. I'm going to be back on a little bit later. It's Friday. I got some things to take care of, man. Y'all hold it down. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Continue to hold these false prophets accountable. Ask them where all the fine details and logistics are at for this freaking June 17th bout that's supposedly be going down. Ask them about it. That's all I want you to do. Please. Big shout out to everyone who pulled up. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I appreciate Mr. Gumbo for the super chats, my brother. Be safe out there. I'm out.